All right, guys, Seth and I are out skating today. It's a beautiful Saturday, but I'm totally trashed today, be honest. And so this is not going to be a skating video to let anybody know who just looks at this. This is going to be a talking video, life lesson. And it's about something that I'm really struggling with recently. As I'm getting older, I'm finding that I'm struggling really tough with it. And I'm hoping you guys maybe can help me out. I've got some ideas, but if you guys got ideas at the end of the video, let me know in the comments. So it's about balance. Now, I'm not talking about balance like standing on 1 foot balance, even though that's going too as I'm getting older. And I'm not talking about work-life balance. I've never struggled with that either. But what I'm talking about is like activity balance, trying to maintain multiple activities at the same time. So if you guys have watched my videos over the past year, you might think that like skating is the only thing I do, but it's not. I mountain bike, I trail run, I dirt bike, I do a bunch of different things, and I've always done a bunch of different things, and it's really never been an issue until I've started to get old. And I've thought that, yeah, it's time, I'm running out of time, I don't have time to do these things, or I have less energy than I used to have when I'm young. But the events of the past couple of weeks have kind of brought it clear to me it's neither one of those two things. You know, you make time for things that you want to do, so time is never an issue. If it is, then you don't want to do something bad enough. And energy wise, I'm fine. I'm not, you know, I don't have as much energy as I had when I was 50 for sure, but I'm not lacking in energy. But it's something else altogether, and it's what's causing me problems. And I want to see if any of you guys have had the same issue. So I've been traveling quite a bit recently, back and forth to the beach with the family and checking on my mom, and I haven't gotten to skate as much as I would like to for past couple of weeks. And the other day it kind of hit me what this whole issue is. And it's like the fragility of my skills. And what I mean by that is it seems like the older I get, the faster my skills fade when I don't do something. Now, when I was young, I always did multiple sports. I mean, I wasn't like these 4-sport guys in high school, but I surfed, skateboard, water skied, scuba dive. I mean, I've always done just a whole pile of sports, and honestly, I've never had a favorite sport. You know, I wouldn't say skating or skateboarding now are not my favorite sports either. They're just sports that I do that I like. But the problem is, when I was young, I could go, seems like, especially like surfing, you know, sometimes in the winter you'd go a month or two before you'd have good waves worth getting out freezing to death for, and it didn't bother me. I'd get right back on the board, and it's like I lost nothing. And it seems like the older I get, the shorter interval of time I can go before I feel like that. The skating seems to be like especially tough for that. Seems like if I don't skate for a week, either on the board or the inlines, I kind of lose. Yeah, I kind of lose a lot. I've already lost. When I hurt my knee, I kind of quit doing rock to fakies, and those are gone. I've already lost those, so I'll have to start from scratch to do those again. And even something like dropping in, I may have dropped in 1,000 times on the skates, probably 1,000 times on the skateboard. I go a week or two without it, and it's almost like I'm starting from scratch again. You know, the fear's back, and just the skill is shaky. So it's tough. And you know, the obvious thing would be, hey, pick one and go with it. But I got like ADD for that. I can't pick one. It's impossible. It's like all work and no play makes Todd a dull boy, and just one sport at a time, they just don't make it. I can't do it. So, you know, what can I do? I don't know. I've only figured out one thing so far, and the one thing I've figured out is I got to compromise. I have to decide that, you know, I'm not gonna worry about you know, developing so much. I can't pursue super high levels of skill and only do, you know, certain things a couple of times a week. You know, I haven't mountain biked hardly, maybe once or twice this whole summer. I've been on my dirt bike, like hadn't ridden it since last spring, but I've done those my whole life. I don't feel like I have lost a lot of there. You know, a lot of that's not fear-based. It's kind of skill-based that I've got base skills that I had when I was a kid. But even there, you know, every time I get back on, I kind of have to start from some level that's way back from where I was the last time I did it. So, you know, you just got to figure, you got to compromise and decide that, hey, you know, there's just some things that are not going to be as, you know, you're not going to advance as much as you want to advance, I guess I'd say. Yeah, so me and Seth hadn't skated in a week together, and he just came up and said he feels rusty. So, you know, it goes quick when you, especially when you get old. But, you know, if you guys have ever experienced a situation like this where you wanted to do multiple things and you just kind of, it fades quick, you know, when you get old. And I sold all my climbing gear just a couple of weeks ago because climbing was one of those things I only did a few times a year. And it was like I started from scratch every time I did it. And that just, it got to the point where it wasn't worth it anymore. So, yeah, it's just, if you guys have ever experienced that, let me know in the comments. And again, I really don't have an answer for it. Right now, the best I can do is, like I said, just compromise. I'm out here just skating. I skate to have fun, skateboard to have fun, and, you know, do it as often as you can. But if you can't get out, you just have to realize that, hey, sometimes I got to start from scratch. So, yeah, this is kind of a short one, but I just had that on my mind and wanted to say something about it and see if you guys have ever experienced that. So again, let me know in the comments if you have ever experienced that. And if you have a different take on it than I do, I'd love to hear it. So in the end, I thank you guys for watching. And if you want to see more of this content, just hit that subscribe button and we will see you on the next one.